Hello and a very warm welcome to Digital Pioneers, an initiative by ETStudios in association with Tata Communications. I'm your host Divina Lasson. Now in this series, we delve into the transformative landscape of India's BFSI sector. Today we will deep dive into the fascinating topic of redefining Indian BFSI industry. According to a recent study by PwC, it reveals that over 70% of Indian financial institutions are accelerating their digital transformation initiatives to stay competitive in an increasingly digital-first environment. So join us as we uncover the stories of trailblazers redefining the Indian BFSI landscape through innovation and technology. Without any further ado, it's my great pleasure to welcome our guest today, Priyankar Chaudhary, Associate Vice President, CSG Global Solutions Engineering, Tata Communications, and Rajesh Ram, CDO, Bank of India. Gentlemen, welcome. Thank you for joining today. It's a pleasure to have you.
Thank you.
Thank you. So, we're here to talk about a really interesting and very important topic, which is redefining the BFSI industry in India today. And as we can see clearly now, there have been some paradigm shifts in the way in which consumers are interacting with the BFSI sector, the expectations, the layer of regulations that has been laid out. So just to start off with, each of you can help us understand on a foundational level, how is the BFSI industry really keeping up with these paradigm shifts? How are they manifesting? In which ways are we seeing this coming through? Rajesh Ram, if we can start with you.
Yeah. See, we have got a large customer base, and it spans from rural customers to the HNI and NRIs. So we have to serve all of them, whether it's the rural customer or the urban customers or the tech savvy or the digital illiterate. So
Sure.
That's a huge base we have. The demands from these customers are equally different. So somebody is in, I would say, in the nursery stage, whereas somebody has graduated and want more. So today, with the regulations coming in and with the fintechs coming in, there are a bouquet of services available. So it is, I would say, it is giving hyper-personalized services.
Yes.
BFSI is giving hyper-personalized services, and each one has got a different demand. But of course, we can categorize them into 4 to 5 categories.
Okay.
The customer base we have, we can categorize into 4 to 5 categories. And to serve each of them, I think the approach has to be different. So if I am serving a rural customer, I think they still prefer assisted banking.
Okay.
They would like their services, the services of business correspondents, the services of branch staff.
Sure.
To do their day-to-day business, even say as simple as depositing cash or withdrawing money. For that also they need assistance apart from remitting funds, and all these are basic services. Of course, I think the mid-tier customer base, they are into equity, mutual funds, insurance, so their products are different.
Yes.
Whereas my HNI and NRI customers, their requirements are totally different. Sure. And they look forward for very high-end, very smooth and very quick service. So that's the demand. Of course, the regulation, why regulation has come in, and today the regulatory compliances are important. The way fintechs have grown over a period of time, the large number of fintechs have grown and everybody has been given a free hand. I think Reserve Bank Innovation Hub has permitted to come with innovations which are really, I would say, out of the blue. Very innovative products have come, but at the same time they have to be regulated.
Sure.
So that's the reason, because the things have to be remained. And of course we have in the system people who want to exploit the system, overuse it, misuse it, I would say at times. So regulation is important, and for that even banks like us, we have to be in compliant mode. And today, let me tell you, all of us are given compliance top priority.
Yes.
If
yes.
not risk and climate, which are equally important. Absolutely. But compliance has been given top priority. Keeping compliance in view, today, the way innovations are happening in fintech and within the country in big tech also, they are also into this. I think we have done huge developments using the UPI infrastructure, and today at least the payment part of it has become very,
Yes.
very easy and very comfortable.
Yes, absolutely. Very important point with UPI. We're going to actually get into a bit more of these solutions that we've been seeing. But before that, Priyankar, let's get you in on this. How are you seeing this shift, the paradigm shift in traditional banking methods? And again, if we take it to a branch level especially, what are some of the changes that you've been observing?
Yeah, I think that first of all, this entire industry is very, very competitive in one way and in multiple ways though. And the services, as sir said, it depends on the kind of user, okay, the kind of customer that they cater to, and that range itself is pretty wide.
Yes.
Okay, so from on one side you have people who would be, just in the financial inclusion bucket and they have just entered the banking system, and then there are people who are high-end users.
Yes.
Now, what we see here is that customer experience is very important. And when you look at customer experience, it is not just customer experience. Customer experience is equally dependent on operational efficiency.
Absolutely.
Right? And the brand image of an organization, say whether it is a bank or any other financial institute, is very important. Okay? And therefore, the regulatory guidelines have to be adhered to. And because, if there is one, attack on an organization, a security attack, then the image goes for a toss. Okay, so it is very important for that image to be maintained for the bank to perform to its highest potential. That is one. The other thing is that when you talk of the entire ecosystem, the fintechs and other financial services institutes are all entangled in a very close way, and the services are synergized.
Yes.
And therefore, the availability of experts, subject matter experts, to serve the customer, okay, is very important. And that is where I think, a lot of innovations are happening, that how do we acquire that customer? How do we ensure that the customer is banked properly, okay, and his investments are done properly, and the customer is served properly.
Absolutely.
Right? So that is where we see that there's a lot of competition. There's a lot of focus on simplifying the process of banking,
Yes.
simplifying the process of transactions, financial transactions in the banking arena.
Yes, absolutely.
That's what we think.
Absolutely. And what's part of the simplification process is many private banks are looking at how they engage with their customers, again, in the branch in a more digitalized way, right? So we see things like digital kiosks, video agents, and so on. How do you see these banks really going through with this transition and implementing the new technologies to, as you said very rightly, ease the process for the customer?
So branches of the future or branch modernization is a very, very important topic, and it's an important topic of discussion across banks and financial institutes, okay, serving different categories of customer. Now, what we have to understand is that the push from the government is more towards a digital India.
Yes.
And banking is a core focus, okay. So if you really look at us, India is a leader in kind of, these kind of UPI transactions, etc. What we see in India is not very easily available in certain countries across the world, right? Now, what is a branch? Okay, branch is a place, where people would come to bank. That is the traditional view of the branch. But today, I don't know when was the last time I visited my branch, a bank's branch, right? The reason being that everything is online, everything is paperless.
Yes.
And that is where, when we talk about the branch of the future, there has to be certain things. I go to a branch when I have an issue or when I need a service which is otherwise not available online.
Yes.
But look at it from the bank's perspective. For the bank, it is a point of customer acquisition.
Absolutely.
Right? And therefore, if I give a good service to my customer, I'll be able to acquire that customer for some other services.
Yes.
Right? And this is how typically it happens. Now, it is very difficult for a bank to manage and maintain skill sets at every branch. Right? And that is where technology comes into place. Okay, so if I go to a branch, I should not leave the branch unserved.
Yes.
Right? And that is where things like, video conferencing or video collaboration, where the expert can be remotely available through a video conference and serve this customer. Yes. Okay. There are other things like, how the operations is built. If I'm getting into a branch, I should be able to use my time. If there is a Wi-Fi which can be given to me, I should be able to do my work while waiting. Right? When the employee at the branch is trying to serve the customer, okay, they would typically be measured based on the time to serve the customer,
Yes,
right?
yes.
And that is dependent on how soon or how fast can that person access the application which is at the data center, okay? And that is where transformative things like a turnkey network, okay, or a fast-paced network, a properly secured, okay, network, those things come into play.
Absolutely.
So as per me, a branch of the future would have different components. It would have a financial kiosk through which calls on video calls on demand can happen. There can be a digital kiosk. There can be things like guest Wi-Fi access, okay, and so many other things that you can do.
Yeah, absolutely. Rajesh, really quickly, your take on the branch of the future, and how do you really see private sector banks especially going ahead with this transformation, real time on ground?
Yeah, see, today the kiosk banking after, I think in the last 1.5 decades, people were hesitant to use a ATM. Now, we find that even if there is a branch, if a customer is acquainted with an ATM, he uses the ATM to withdraw money or even for depositing cash. So, this adoption and acquaintance which he has gathered over a period of time, now they are now graduating into using kiosks.
Right.
So, last time when I was in Osaka, I found that a bank branch typically was some 30 to 40 kiosks and there was nobody. So, the moment I entered the branch, a automated voice welcomed me, and then I did my transactions and I came out, and I was wished while entering, and of course a goodbye while exiting. So that type of infrastructure it has matured. I think India is also seeing similar things. I have seen in some rural branches, people are queuing in front of the passbook kiosk instead of queuing in the counter. So people have started using the kiosk.
Yes.
What we have done, we have opened 2 digital banking units, and going forward, we are putting large number of 24/7 e-galleries. Now, inside a e-gallery, we have got cash recycler machines, we have got check deposit kiosk, we have got passbook printing kiosk. And on these kiosks, we are giving multiple, some 10 to 15 services. Suppose you want to hotlist your debit card, or you want a new credit card, whatever it is. These are all kiosk based. So the customer who is into far-flung areas, who doesn't have access to good bandwidth, these kiosks, these e-galleries are equipped with proper bandwidth, and they are able to complete their requests and transactions in a jiffy.
Sure. Yeah.
So we are focusing heavily on that, and going forward, I think even in metro branches, whether it is metro branch or whether it is a mall, all the places we are planning to roll out kiosks, multifunctional kiosks.
Sure.
So a kiosk will be there, it will occupy very little space, but a person can do his banking transaction in a safe and secured manner.
Yes.
Many times a person is not very comfortable using his mobile. Many times the mobile, because these days people are installing large number of apps, authorized, unauthorized also. Their device may be safe, unsafe also.
Yes.
So in this scenario, a kiosk gives them the safety and security of a bank branch.
Sure.
So we are going ahead with multifunctional kiosks also, and adoption is also picking very fast.
Yes. Okay, wonderful. One thing that really stands out as we discuss all these trends is clearly a key driver for all these innovations and strategies is ultimately the customer experience. Could you shed some light, sir, on how you are seeing banks really embracing CX at the center of their strategies? And surely there are many challenges as well, right? The new generation, say the Gen Zs, have a vast amount of expectations. Of course, they expect efficiency, everything at the fingertips. So keeping in mind all the sort of enhanced and quite elaborate customer expectations, how are you seeing the BFSI sector really coping up?
No, see, today the CX part, as you said, is very important. It's not a banking app, but a person on an average uses some 10 to 15 apps. And his experience in each of the app is different. And some of the apps are offering excellent CX capabilities. So the customer expectation is that the moment he onboards any app, whether it is banking app, whether it is e-commerce, or whether it is simply the vegetable vendors app, he wants same level of ease and comfort the best app gives him.
Yes.
So that is his expectation. In the BFSI sector, what we have in banking is that we are regulated entities and we have to focus more on security.
Exactly, yes.
So, if somebody tries to focus more on audit, compliance and security, for him to develop CX becomes a challenge. So, what we have done, we have segregated these two functions.
Okay.
So, we have got specialists for CX.
Okay.
So, his or her job is to work only on CX, forgetting about the other part. So, a different team develops the application, the safety, security, compliance,
Sure.
everything he sees. But the CX part, which used to be good old days, which used to be done by the same person, now has been segregated.
Okay.
So, the CX part is being done by a separate team
Okay.
who are CX specialists, whether including the creatives, whether it is the color combination, whether it is the navigation. Each part of it, I think, is a different science today.
Sure.
Is a totally different science today, and I think we have started putting our investments in that.
Yeah, wonderful. Yeah. So Priyankar, to bring you in on this, we're discussing a very relevant point, which is how in BFSI sector, the CX journey is so complex because you're looking at a system which is highly regulated. You're looking at ever evolving customer needs and demands. So how are you seeing again in BFSI this transformation happening where CX is kept at the center, but of course, keeping all the challenges in mind, the strategies are also designed in such a way, maybe used actually as an advantage ultimately. But how are you seeing this evolution taking place?
Yes. So what we have seen in organizations like this is that there is a heterogeneous setup. That means there are multiple technology partners who are serving together to provide a customer experience, unit, so to say, or a customer experience service. And most of this is based on the fact that technology is at the core of it, right? Now, when you talk of technology, what is the idea? The idea is to provide a coherent service to the customer. So,
Yes.
for example, if I'm talking about my bank, when I'm interacting with my contact center or the helpline or the customer care, when I go to the branch, I should have the same communication with me. Or when they're sending me an SMS or a WhatsApp, through all channels, the message is coherent. Okay, that's what we are looking at. Now, what we see is that when you have a right strategy, which is a homogeneous strategy of omni-channel communication,
Yes.
okay, combined with the contact center platform, okay, that is where you see a lot of benefit, because then the communication becomes very, very coherent and it is not overlapping.
Yes.
So I don't have to repeat the same thing to one person when I'm already communicating the same thing to another person, right? So that's where we see that omni-channel communication combined with a customer experience platform makes a lot of difference. And what we are focusing on, and this is where we have already made a lot of investment, okay, through acquisition, wherein we are providing a turnkey solution which combines omni-channel communication along with the contact center platform, and we are giving this as a service to our customers, right? There are different use cases associated with it, and all of these use cases are right from acquisition to transaction to service to marketing to the complete assurance, the entire paradigm, to authentications, all of these things. Now, when you look at all of these use cases taken together, this is where it brings down the total cost of ownership as well as increases the return on investment.
Yes. Yes.
Right? And that is where we are looking at a complete suite of customer experience platform, which we call it a customer interaction suite.
Okay, wonderful. Keeping all these strategies in mind and clubbing them together, it seems almost like a strategic benefit actually, that there
Absolutely.
are all these systems in place and the strategies to overcome them is actually beneficial ultimately.
Yes, absolutely. Just to to summarize that part, okay, or and to add to what you said, is the benefit that we tend to provide to our customers around this set of services is around, first of all, the cost of ownership comes down,
Yeah.
because you have got one partner providing you with different elements who is responsible for enabling omni-channel communication for you. The second part is for all your marketing campaigns, okay, it brings down because it brings down the cost, so the return on investment is high.
Yes.
Okay, the success rate is high. Okay, and all of these taken together, it brings a lot of operational efficiency, and the customer experience automatically improves.
Yes, Absolutely wonderful. Thank you for that. Rajesh, let's shift focus a little bit, because of course we're here to talk about digital transformation. No conversation on digital transformation, especially in BFSI, can be had without talking about cloud adoption, right? But at the same time, we've been seeing so many, you can say, unique challenges when it comes to cloud adoption. Of course, data security and so on being at the helm of it. What has been your experience in recent times? What is the evolution that you've been seeing when it comes to cloud strategies in banking, and what are some of the trends that you foresee in the coming years?
Adoption of cloud, we started more than a decade ago. So we have our own private cloud, which has graduated from stage 1 to 2 and now in the third stage,
Sure.
with having huge capabilities and capacity. So the usage of cloud within the organization has matured and extensively being used by the teams here. Now, when it comes to private cloud, I think this is where we have started taking baby steps.
Okay.
So our website, for instance, is on GCP. So baby steps have been taken, and I think the hybrid mode as of now will mature over a period of time.
Sure.
So today I think most of our requirements, we have hundreds and hundreds of applications running on the private cloud, and I think the advantages of a cloud are immense. So your turnaround, your POCs, and your application upscaling, everything happens very quickly, and all these can be regulated. At the same time, if you see the security stance, suppose I have 100 of applications. For each application, good old days, we had to put separate security. Each application had to be monitored separately. So today, the compute part, whether it's the storage part or it's the memory, all is combined in one place. And as and when which application uses, so a application which is in high use during the day or in the evening, maybe in low use in the, I think, overnight.
Sure.
So, and some applications may be used overnight. So, the entire compute which is available for us is being used in the cloud. So, we are able to leverage the entire infrastructure, and today the all new procurements and purchases are based on the cloud strategy.
Yeah.
So, cloud is there in a big way. Point is that we have made a lot of savings in that. In fact, product rollouts have been very quick and fast. So, immense benefits we have already enjoyed. Today, the pain is that to maintain a private cloud, we need the skill sets. Now, that type of skill sets are very limited in the market, and I think we have many a times big challenges to maintain that.
Sure.
That is where the private cloud kicks in. The
Right.
private cloud, the type of infrastructure which has been globally built, and of course we have got a lot of data centers in India where they have built world-class private cloud and services they are giving. One concern which remains is that we are storing financial data, and with DPDP Act and of course and PI information being in one place. So how safe it is? That is where we have started, I think we have started working on community clouds.
Okay.
So maybe if all banks are come together, all e-commerce, I think they will come together, something like that. Wherever they are, they need, I think, high security or more data privacy than others. They should form a community cloud. So banking is one such community cloud we can have, and community cloud are catching up because today among banks also we are sharing a lot of information, lot of data, of course based on customer consent only, the account aggregator framework which is there. But if we are keeping data in one place, I think we feel safer.
Yes.
We feel safer. So that safety part is also being taken. So going forward, I think the private cloud players who are coming with community cloud, we shall be using that. That's what is in our mind. But of course, hybrid mode will be there for quite some time.
So community cloud, hybrid mode, is this sort of the future and the direction you see it going in when it comes to cloud adoption?
Yeah, because private cloud, as I said, today we have matured, we are extensively using it, and we are very comfortable with it. I think it is on our fingertips, but challenge is to scale up the infrastructure which we have today. Each day we are coming with huge requirements. Moreover, today we have got a huge data lake and data house. These data, I think, going forward will be used for analytics, maybe AI, ML, and generative AI. Tomorrow my chatbots may be using this data to respond to customer queries. So generative AI is one thing which will catch up very fast. Today we are using it for fraud risk management or other purpose, small purposes. But going forward, I think this can be extensively and very nicely used for customer queries and customer responses.
Yeah, absolutely. Fantastic. Priyankar, let's get you in on this again. Of course, we can't have any conversation about transformation without talking about Gen AI. So again, if you had to sort of summarize as we come to the end of this episode, how are you really helping various organizations leverage to the maximum their cloud investment? What role is Gen AI and other innovations playing in this role? And what's the future forward?
Yeah, okay. So now cloud adoption is on the rise, okay, and it is quite a bit into the journey of adoption, right? So what we have seen is that organizations are gradually adopting cloud. Now one of the things is that when you move to cloud, you also have to be mindful of certain things, like Mr. Ram said. One is that of course, your data privacy and all of those things. So that is somehow organizations have what I would say, they have been dealing with it so far. The other thing is around bill shocks. Okay, you have to keep a close track of what you are spending on the cloud. Okay, because a lot of it is on a usage-based model, right? But when you talk of public cloud, of course, the scalability is very high. Okay, that is one of the things. Now that's a positive side of it. Now the other thing is that when you talk of cloud and you also want to have the benefit of a predictive cost model or cost structure which is optimal in nature, okay, that is where a hybrid cloud comes into the picture, what organizations like Tata Communications offer. Now in our cloud, okay, what happens is that there is a predictability of cost. When you go for public clouds, okay, you have to subscribe for the public cloud, and then you have to find a partner to manage that, right? Like sir said that the skill sets are very difficult to find. You would find good skill sets, but then retaining those skill sets is even more difficult, right? Now our services come bundled with managed services, okay, along with it. So there's a platform, there is a managed services associated with it, the security controls comes along with it, okay, and it is also under a completely managed model. And of course, these platforms are well connected on my network. So that gives me the privilege of giving you very, very definitive and high speed connectivity between your data centers, right? Say your data center, and then there's a DR. So there's a connectivity between them is going to be very, very reliable and high speed. That is one part of it. Okay. The other thing is that when you look at storage on cloud, okay, so we also provide that as a service to our customers, and that is on a very, very definitive model, okay, wherein you would not have a bill shock there. So those are some of the value adds that we bring in associated with it. As far as community cloud is concerned, yeah, we are also in that space, and we have our own ISO financial cloud, okay, which is targeted towards the BFSI segment, okay, and it comes with multiple things, okay. For example, the complete infrastructure, okay, platform services, it has security controls, it has network, okay, and it has got cloud storage associated with it, all provided in a managed services model. We are also into the space of edge computing, okay. So because this is one of the things that we see that there is a lot of merit in. Even when we talk of branch of the future, video analytics use cases in the branch, okay, to prevent things like fraud, okay, or monitoring the occupancy, okay, of the employees in the branch, or looking at customer sentiments, okay. These are some of the things which you can fulfill through edge computing without having to make your central data center very heavy on traffic, right? So that is one. Also, we are into the space of analytics. We have our own analytics platform, which we plan to provide as a service to our customers.
Okay.
That's where BFSI segments.
Wonderful. Wonderful. So thank you so much, gentlemen, with all this innovation that we're talking about today. If we can wrap up, we're just leaving our viewers with one key takeaway when it comes to points, trends to look out for when it comes to redefining the Indian BFSI sector. Just one key takeaway. Priyankar?
Yeah, so that one key takeaway I think would be the simplicity of operations and simplicity of enabling the customer to do a financial transaction and giving him the full value for his time.
Yes.
I think that
absolutely.
is one key takeaway which every organization should focus on.
Yes, wonderful. Rajesh Rao?
Yes, see, today with the immense data we have, I think we should come up with customer service chatbots, which should be powered by Gen AI type of models, so that a customer in any of the Indian languages, any vernacular language, he asks a question, he gets a voice response or a written response.
Yes.
So I think that type of customer service we are able to provide today. Yes. And of course, not only customer service, at the same time, wealth management, his small money management.
Yes.
I think this type of services, if we are able to provide, I think we will be more than happy.
All right, wonderful. Wonderful, gentlemen. Thank you so much. Thank you for being here today, sharing all your insights and really giving a roadmap ahead for everyone in the BFSI sector to look forward to when it comes to redefinition in the Indian context. Thank you. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Right, on that note, that's all we have for you on this episode of Digital Pioneers, an initiative by ETStudios in association with Tata Communications. But do stay tuned for more in-depth conversations where we delve deeper into the rapid pace of digital adoption in the BFSI sector and much more. Until next time, many thanks for watching.